Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing the part-time YouTuber tag. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I am a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a soft spot for indie makeup and colorful makeup. And I have new content every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. Okay, so I've seen a few people do this tag and I thought it sounded like a fun idea. I think I first saw it like a while ago. And then I saw Theresa's Dead do it in December, and I was like, that's something I'm gonna do sometime in January. So here we are, January 2022, still can't believe that. And I'm gonna do this. I will link down, if I find who was the first person to do this or anything like that, I'll put that in the description box. Probably should have looked that up beforehand, but it's been hectic being back to teaching. If you're curious about any of the makeup I have on my face, I'll have it all in the description box, and I'll link the video up here. I just filmed using the NARS Climax palette, and I will link that there, and I have everything in the description box. I will also put the questions down in the description box in case anybody else sees this and wants to do the video as well. So the first question is, what is your main gig? Do you work full-time? Are you a student? A parent? Spill the beans. So I am a grad student. I am a PhD student. I've mentioned that on this channel before, but in case you're new here, hi. I am a PhD student. I have already done 2 master's degrees, and now I am finishing, hopefully, my PhD in the next couple of years. A lot of my research plans kind of fell through because of the pandemic. So I'm starting a new project now, actually, like this week, some of the base work for it, and I'm really excited for it. I hope it works out. My technical title at the moment is PhD student because I haven't passed my proposal where I say this is what I'm going to be doing, and then you become a candidate. But I'm not really a student anymore. I'm not taking classes, anything like that. So my day-to-day job is teaching. That's how I get paid, as a teaching assistant. Or maybe in the future teaching classes myself, and then doing research and helping train other grad students and undergrads and stuff. I have taught before, so before I did this, after I finished my first master's degree, I did teach. I was an adjunct professor for 4 semesters, so about 2 years, and I really loved that, and that's my desire to keep doing research and keep teaching is what brought me here to Seattle. And if anybody's actually interested in what I research, I'm happy to talk about that on here sometime. I kind of want to do like a Q&A thing. I just haven't yet. But I am a biological anthropologist by training, a paleoanthropologist. So I study human evolution and human anatomy and biomechanics. So I'm looking at how people walk, how humans and other primates walk and move about the world, and comparative anatomy, so looking at humans versus other primates versus other animals, and then using that to try to understand how humans evolved, what our ancestors, we already know kind of what they looked like, but like how they moved, how they walked, how we became human. So if anybody has more questions about that, I'm happy to answer it. Okay, and so question 2 is, what made you start a YouTube? So I talked about this not that long ago in my first video, which was back in August. So it's only been 4 months, August, September, November, December. It's now January, but it was like end of August. So I really started in September. So it's only been a few months, but I started this channel as kind of a creative outlet. I post a lot of makeup, mostly makeup content, to my Instagram, but you can't really, I like trying new things. The scientist in me likes trying and comparing things, and you can't really get the same level of engagement on Instagram. You can put whatever you want in the description box and say, I liked this more than this, or I think this worked well and this didn't. But it's not, people aren't really reading the description boxes the same as, or the captions the same as on YouTube. I can actually talk and say what I feel about something. And so I really wanted that. I've been on a search for like the best, base routine for everyday life because I like a sheer base. I just want to like my skin look good and healthy and clean, and then throw on some bronzer and blush. And it's been really hard for me to find the right shade for some things like foundation because I am a medium olive, and I feel like the people I see trying foundations when I search for them are either way lighter than me or darker than me and like a tan skin with an olive undertone. So it's like, I can't wear that's a few shades too dark, that's a few shades too light. I'm not really seeing a lot of people in my range, so I wanted to, so I figured I would try it myself. I also really like the sense of community that this has. I try to respond to every comment. I'm small enough that I still can do that. I like discussing things with people. I like being able to use this as a way to long form talk about the products that I'm enjoying, and then have people respond, and then I can respond back, and there's a dialogue there. And especially the last couple of years, sense of community and dialogue has been very necessary. I left my chosen family in New York and moved across the country, so I don't know if I really have a sense of community here yet. And my creative outlet through the last chaotic couple of years has been makeup, so I wanted to just explore that further. So question 3 is, what is your channel about? Do you stick to one niche or do you cover a few? So my channel is about makeup and beauty content. I don't really do any skincare stuff on here, although I can talk about my skincare routine if anybody would like that. I don't experiment too much because I don't like the way that can affect my skin. So once I find a good routine, I'm pretty much stick with that. Unless I want to try a variation of something, and I'll change one variable here or there, see what works better. But I like to keep things pretty controlled and do controlled comparisons. Again, scientist and biologist, it just comes naturally. So I don't try a lot of skincare products. I have like a pretty good routine that I've built up. So it's mostly makeup, a lot of eyeshadow. I like blush a lot. Some new products, new reviews, if things speak to me. I don't have the budget to buy everything. I also don't really like the consumerism of buy everything. I think people buy more than they should. I buy more than I should. But I do like doing, that's being hyped up, it's new, and I like it, it speaks to me. I will grab that and do a review on it and then play around with it some more, obviously. But also sometimes it's, I also like doing tag videos like this. I also like doing rankings or like favorites for this or favorite, category kind of things. I just like talking about makeup. My husband will confirm that. I drive him insane. I talk about it way more than I talk about my research because this is the fun, non-stressful thing that I enjoy and do. Okay, so question 4 is, did you always know that YouTube would be a side gig, or do you want to have her be a full-time YouTuber? So right now, this is definitely a side gig. I'm not even monetized. Like, there's no way I could make money off of this right now. I would like to get to that point. I feel my goal right now is not to be some crazy huge YouTuber. It's more, if I can get to the point of being monetized, I'd like it to pay for itself, like pay for the products that I'm buying. And I could maybe review more and try more things if I had that. But right now I'm happy with it being like a creative side project. But who knows, if I finish my PhD and can't find a job and I'm making money here, it might become a full-time thing. I don't hate the idea of doing it full-time, but I also don't want to give up the other parts of my life. So we'll see what happens in the future. I don't know. I love science and I love teaching science and discovering things about humans and human variation and all the stuff that I do, but also academia is pretty toxic, but so can YouTube. So, you know, we'll see what happens in the future. So question 5 is, what is your schedule like? When do you film and when do you edit? So it's kind of chaotic because I'm on the quarter system here. So my schedule changes every few months. We have fall quarter, winter quarter, spring quarter. So it's September through December, January through March, and then like March through June. So my schedule changes every quarter, but I try to find blocks of time like today where I taught all day and I can film a couple things back to back now, and then I can edit one of them and get it posted tomorrow morning, and then edit the other one sometime and have it posted in a few days. It's kind of what I do. My husband works from home, so he has a lot of meetings, so I try to look at the week ahead of time and say, where do I have a break where I'm not on my computer, I don't have any urgent grading or any urgent things to do on here? When do you not have a meeting? And we'll like block time. Or sometimes like right now, he had to run some errands, he needed to go to Target. So I was like, okay, I don't need to go to Target too, I can film. So it's a little haphazard. I very rarely have the time to film and edit all in one day. So it's sometimes I'll film 2 things now and maybe I'll film something short tomorrow and then I'll edit in a couple days, or I'll film a few things on the weekend and edit them throughout the week. Sometimes I've had a few videos ahead posted, like ready to go, and then, you know, I'll get really busy and those will all post and then I have to start playing catch up. So it's the hazards of being an academic. I have a pretty flexible schedule, but a busy schedule. So question 6 is, how do you keep your YouTube organized? Do you plan videos ahead or just film what you feel? So I do a bit of both, mostly planning. I am a planner, I like lists. So I have 2 running lists in my phone that I can edit at any time and access on the computer, obviously. So I have like bigger ideas or long-term plans for like video series that I want to do later. And then I have other things where it's like, I know I'm going to film these and like this. I knew I wanted to film this for a while, so I had it on that list to check off. They're not in a particular order necessarily. So, but then some things happen, like this makeup order came today. So I was like, well, I can film with that and then film one of the things on my list right afterwards. I actually have another order of something else coming tomorrow, and I will probably film something trying that out. And then I have another video, not a tag, but like another video planned that I could easily film right afterwards. So I will probably do that again. I will probably edit this video tomorrow, or edit the one I just did tomorrow morning and post it, and then film 2 more tomorrow, and then slowly edit them. So it's like a schedule, but not a set schedule. It's a flexible, like movable schedule. It's more just a list. So question 7 is, how do you feel about sponsored videos on YouTube? Have you or would you ever do one on your channel? So I think a lot of people are leery of them. I was not part of the whole YouTube beauty sphere, you know, a few years ago, where people were like doing sponsored content but not saying it or disclosing it, or pushing people to buy a product so that they could earn a commission via an affiliate link or anything like that. I was not on here for that, so I don't have those negative connotations that people are gonna lie just because they were given something for free, or they might earn a commission if you buy it. I think sponsored content is fine if it's disclosed properly and it makes sense. Running a YouTube, especially a makeup YouTube, is expensive. You have, I mean, I use my phone, but I also had to buy, you know, a ring light and an actual light because it's winter in Seattle and dark. But it's not the cheapest hobby, so I totally think sponsored content is fine. I would do it. There are definitely brands out there that I would happily have sponsored content with. But the brands that I could see doing sponsored content with are brands that I already like. Like if a random brand I've never heard of reached out and said, hey, we'd want to do a sponsored video, I'd be a little leery. I might say no, I might ask for more information, maybe say, okay, like if you're trying to sponsor me about a product, I need you to send me something so I can try to know what I'm doing before I agree to this. Like, I don't really know how all of that works, but like I would never take a sponsorship blindly or just because of the money. I personally would only take a sponsored, agreement and contract for something that I like or know I will like. And I feel like most of the people, 99% of the people I follow are the same. If they do sponsored content, it's something they enjoy. It doesn't feel fake or forced. So I don't have a problem with it, but I do know some people do. So it's something that's going to happen, especially like probably more and more for people because of the growth of YouTube and TikTok and social media in general. And the last question, question 8, is what do you think the biggest challenge of doing YouTube part-time is? And I think the biggest challenge for doing YouTube part-time is really the scheduling and the cost. Like, if this was a full-time job, I could dedicate more time to it. I could do more things. I could, it would just be easier to structure around. I think the hardest part of doing this part-time is wanting to, but not having the energy to or the time to. And I have friends that are the same. Like my friend Danny just took like a month off from her channel because she works retail and it was the holidays and she was busy and she would work hours and hours and hours and then come home and crash. And I totally relate to that. I only had one video last week because the first week back of the quarter was just chaotic and busy and I was wiped. So I think that's the hardest thing. When I've had time off, like when I first started at the end of summer before school really started, it was much easier because as long as my partner wasn't on a call, I could film something, I could do something, and then I could edit and I could make plans and have things like ready to go, and I wasn't trying to cram filming time into every little bit I could. So I think that and the cost is the hardest part, because especially for me, I'm small, I'm less than 400 subscribers at the moment. I don't make any money from this, so everything I'm buying and using on this channel is my own money for things that I know that I'll like or things that I want to try. And I'm putting a lot of myself into this. And if I was doing this if this wasn't a full-time job, then I'd be being paid, and it would just be easier financially and time-wise. Okay, so those were the 8 questions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like my answers. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.